Hey culture explorers. When you think of China, your mind probably goes to the incredible Great Wall stretching across mountains, mind-blowing technological innovations that are reshaping our world, and absolutely stunning traditional art that's inspired humanity for thousands of years, right? This ancient civilization has given us gunpowder, paper, the compass, and some of the most delicious cuisine on the planet. But did you know that beneath this incredible cultural surface lies a complex web of shocking social taboos that could instantly turn you from a welcomed guest into a deeply offensive outsider? I'm talking about forbidden behaviors so unexpected, so culturally sensitive, that even experienced international business leaders have accidentally destroyed million-dollar deals with a single innocent mistake. These aren't just minor cultural preferences. These are serious social landmines that can get you banned from restaurants, thrown out of people's homes, or even create diplomatic incidents. Some of these taboos are so deeply rooted in Chinese philosophy and history that breaking them doesn't just embarrass you, it can genuinely hurt and offend people who are trying to show you hospitality. Today, we're uncovering 15 mind-blowing Chinese taboos that will save you from catastrophic cultural disasters and help you navigate this fascinating country like a true insider. From dangerous number superstitions that affect everything from hotel floors to phone numbers, to bizarre gift-giving rules that could accidentally declare war on your business partners, you're about to discover cultural secrets that most tourists never learn until it's too late. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll understand why cultural sensitivity in China isn't just about being polite, it's about showing respect for 5,000 years of wisdom and tradition. So get ready, because some of these revelations are going to completely change how you see Chinese culture. Number 15. Never stick chopsticks upright in rice. This innocent mistake has horrified Chinese families countless times. Sticking chopsticks vertically into a bowl of rice is essentially setting up a funeral altar at the dinner table. In Chinese culture, upright chopsticks in rice bowls are used exclusively during funeral ceremonies to honor deceased ancestors. The visual resembles incense sticks burning at memorial services, making this gesture deeply associated with death and mourning. A British exchange student in Beijing nearly gave her host family a heart attack when she absent-mindedly left her chopsticks standing in her rice bowl during a celebratory dinner for Chinese New Year. The grandmother started crying, thinking someone in the family was going to die. The student had no idea her innocent action was basically announcing a death omen at their most joyous celebration. Chinese restaurants worldwide have trained staff to gently correct foreign diners who make this mistake, but in traditional Chinese homes, this taboo can genuinely upset people and ruin entire meals. Number 14. The number 4 is more feared than 666. In China, the number 4 isn't just unlucky, it's so terrifying that entire floors are eliminated from buildings, phone numbers are rejected, and license plates are avoided at all costs. The reason? In Mandarin Chinese, the word for 4 sounds almost identical to the word for death. This phonetic similarity has created such intense superstition that it affects every aspect of Chinese life, from architecture to business. Major hotels in China skip floor 4, 14, 24, and any floor containing the digit 4. Some buildings jump from floor 3 directly to floor 5. Chinese people pay premium prices to avoid phone numbers with multiple 4s, and car license plates with 4s are significantly cheaper because no one wants them. A German automotive executive learned this the hard way when his company's Model 4 car failed spectacularly in China, not because of quality issues but because consumers were literally afraid to buy a car associated with death. The company had to rebrand it as Model 5 to succeed in the Chinese market. Number 13. Never give clocks as gifts. You're wishing someone dead. Here's a gift-giving disaster that has ended friendships and ruined business relationships. Giving someone a clock in China is equivalent to telling them you want them to die soon. The phrase giving a clock, or songjiang, sounds identical to attending a funeral, also songjiang in Chinese. Clocks also symbolize the countdown to death, making them deeply inappropriate gifts for any occasion. An American tech company once sent elegant desk clocks to all their Chinese business partners for the holidays. Instead of gratitude, they received shocked phone calls, and several partnerships were immediately terminated. The Chinese partners interpreted the gifts as death threats or extremely bad omens for their business relationships. Even expensive luxury watches can be problematic if given as gifts, though they're a bit more acceptable than traditional clocks. Chinese people are so sensitive to this taboo that many will refuse clock gifts entirely. no matter how beautiful or expensive they are. Number 12. Pointing with your index finger is deeply rude. While pointing with your index finger might seem like basic communication, in China it's considered extremely rude and aggressive. Honestly, it's almost like jabbing someone with a weapon. Chinese culture views the pointed finger as accusatory and confrontational. The gesture suggests blame, anger, and disrespect. Traditional Chinese pointing uses an open hand with all fingers extended, which is considered much more polite and respectful. Western tourists constantly offend Chinese people by pointing at directions, menu items, or objects with their index fingers. Chinese service staff often become visibly uncomfortable or even hostile when customers point at them directly. A restaurant manager in Shanghai told me that aggressive pointing is one of the fastest ways for foreign customers to receive poor service, because staff interpret it as arrogant and dismissive behavior. The cultural difference is so significant that many Chinese people working with foreigners have to train themselves to tolerate pointing, even though it makes them genuinely uncomfortable. Number 11. Never flip fish on your plate, you're sinking ships. This taboo sounds absolutely bizarre to outsiders, but in Chinese culture, flipping a whole fish over on your plate is believed to cause shipwrecks and bring terrible luck to fishermen and sailors. The superstition originates from coastal fishing communities where fish symbolize boats on the ocean. Flipping a fish was like capsizing a vessel, which could bring actual disaster to local fishermen. Even today, this belief is so strong that it affects dining etiquette nationwide. Instead of flipping fish, Chinese people carefully eat the top side, then remove the bones to accent without turning the fish over. At business dinners, foreign executives who flip fish often receive worried looks from their Chinese colleagues. A shipping company CEO from Norway once flipped a fish at a crucial dinner meeting in Guangzhou, a major port city. His Chinese partners became visibly anxious about their upcoming cargo shipments, and several deals were postponed. The psychological impact was real. They genuinely feared their ships would encounter problems because of the dinner incident. Number 10. Refusing business cards with one hand is a career killer. In Chinese business culture, how you receive a business card isn't just etiquette. It's a demonstration of respect that can make or break professional relationships. Chinese business cards must be received with both hands, examined carefully, and treated with reverence. The card represents the person's professional identity and social status. Casually taking it with one hand or immediately stuffing it in your pocket is considered deeply disrespectful. The proper ritual involves media, hands accepting a business card with both hands, and reading it carefully. Accepting the card with both hands, reading it thoroughly, making a positive comment about the person's title or company, and placing it respectfully on the table during meetings. Foreign business people who grab cards casually often find their Chinese counterparts becoming cold and distant. A Silicon Valley startup founder lost a potential $50 million investment deal in Shanghai, partly because he carelessly shoved business cards in his back pocket during introductions. His Chinese investors interpreted this as arrogance and lack of respect for their status and achievements. Number 9. White flowers are reserved for funerals only. Bringing white flowers to any celebration in China is like showing up to a wedding in funeral attire. It's shocking, inappropriate, and deeply offensive to everyone present. In Chinese culture, white is the traditional color of mourning and death. White flowers are used exclusively for funeral arrangements and memorial services. Bringing white flowers to happy occasions like birthdays, weddings, or business openings suggests you wish misfortune or death upon the recipients. Red and pink flowers represent joy, prosperity, and good fortune, making them appropriate for celebrations. Yellow flowers can also be acceptable, but white flowers are absolutely taboo for any positive occasion. An Italian ambassador's wife caused a diplomatic incident when she brought elegant white lilies to a Chinese New Year celebration at the embassy. The Chinese guests were horrified, interpreting the gesture as wishing death and bad luck for the coming year. The ambassador had to issue formal apologies and send elaborate red flower arrangements to repair the cultural damage. Number 8. Never write someone's name in red ink. Writing someone's name in red ink in China is essentially declaring them dead or wishing them harm. This taboo is so serious that it can end friendships and create genuine fear in people who see their names written in red. Traditionally, Chinese names were written in red ink only on tombstones and death certificates. The color red, while generally lucky in Chinese culture, becomes ominous when used for personal names because of this funeral association. The taboo extends to all red writing instruments, red pens, markers, or digital text. Chinese students become genuinely distressed if teachers mark their names in red on assignments, even for positive feedback. A Canadian English teacher in Beijing had several students break down in tears when she wrote their names in red ink to praise their excellent work. She didn't understand why her encouragement was causing panic until Chinese colleagues explained that she was essentially marking the students as dead. Many Chinese people will refuse to sign documents if only red pens are available. Number 7. Tipping can be deeply insulting. While tipping might seem like showing appreciation, in traditional Chinese culture, it can actually be interpreted as insulting charity that suggests the service provider is desperately poor and needs your pity. You see, Chinese culture values dignity and face-saving above monetary rewards. Offering tips can imply that you think the person's regular wage is inadequate or that they're begging for handouts. This is especially sensitive in situations where service is considered a matter of professional pride. However, this taboo is, rapidly changing in international hotels and Western-style restaurants in major cities, where tipping is becoming more accepted. But in traditional establishments, local restaurants, and when dealing with older Chinese people, tips can still cause offense. There was this one time when a French businessman in rural China tried to tip his local guide after an excellent tour, and the guide became visibly angry and hurt, feeling that his professional expertise was being reduced to charity. The businessman's well-intentioned gesture nearly ruined their growing friendship because it challenged the guide's sense of professional dignity. Number 6. Never open gifts immediately in front of the giver. This cultural difference really shocks many Westerners. In China, opening gifts immediately after receiving them is considered greedy, impatient, and potentially embarrassing for the gift giver. Chinese gift-giving protocol actually involves graciously accepting presents and opening them later in private. This allows both parties to maintain face. The giver doesn't risk immediate judgment of their gift choice, and the receiver doesn't risk showing disappointment or appearing greedy for the contents. The tradition also prevents awkward situations where inappropriate or insufficient gifts might cause embarrassment in front of other people. Western visitors who enthusiastically tear open gifts at Chinese celebrations often make their hosts uncomfortable. For instance, an American family invited to a Chinese wedding immediately opened their gift envelopes containing money, counted the cash publicly, and commented on the amounts. Their Chinese friends were mortified by this breach of etiquette, which violated multiple cultural rules about discretion, face-saving, and financial privacy. Number 5. Wearing green hats means your spouse is cheating. In China, wearing a green hat isn't just a fashion choice. It's basically a public announcement that your spouse is having an affair. This symbolism is so well known that Chinese people will actually go out of their way to avoid green headwear just to prevent any social embarrassment. The phrase wearing a green hat, or Dai Lu Mao Zi, is a common idiom that means to be cuckolded. The origin comes from ancient China when, believe it or not, relatives of prostitutes were required to wear green clothing to identify their shameful association. These days, modern Chinese people, especially men, are extremely sensitive about wearing anything green on their heads. We're talking baseball caps, beanies, or really any green hat. All of these can trigger snickers, jokes, or even genuine concern from Chinese friends and colleagues. There was even a group of Irish tourists wearing green St. Patrick's Day hats in Beijing, and they were constantly approached by concerned Chinese people trying to warn them about the cultural implications. What the tourists thought was just a festive celebration, the locals actually interpreted as a public humiliation about marital infidelity. Number 4. Never pour your own drink, it shows you have no friends. In Chinese drinking culture, pouring your own beverage suggests you're socially isolated, have no friends to care for you, or are maybe being ignored by your companions. And yeah, this taboo applies to everything from tea to alcohol. The cultural importance here really lies in showing mutual care and respect. Keeping others' cups filled demonstrates attentiveness and friendship, while someone with an empty glass that they have to fill themselves just appears to be socially rejected. At Chinese business dinners and social gatherings, there's constant attention to everyone's drink levels. People actively monitor and refill each other's cups as a sign of respect and inclusion. Foreign visitors who casually pour their own drinks often puzzle their Chinese hosts, who see this as either antisocial behavior or a sign that they're failing as hosts. There was even a lonely-looking businessman in Shanghai who kept refilling his own wine glass at a company dinner, and he became the subject of concerned whispers among his Chinese colleagues who worried that he felt unwelcome or that they were being bad hosts. Number 3. Whistling at night summons ghosts and evil spirits. Now this superstition might sound a little medieval, but many Chinese people genuinely believe that whistling after dark attracts supernatural entities and brings bad luck to your household. Traditional Chinese beliefs hold that nighttime whistling creates sounds that guide lost spirits and ghosts right toward your location. The melodic tones are thought to be especially attractive to wandering souls looking for living people to disturb or, honestly, even possess. Even modern, educated Chinese people often avoid whistling at night, either from their own personal belief or just to avoid making family members uncomfortable. The taboo is especially strong in rural areas and among older generations. For example, a British student living with a Chinese family in Chengdu was repeatedly asked to stop her habit of whistling while studying late at night. Her host grandmother became increasingly anxious, believing the whistling would invite harmful spirits into their home. The student initially dismissed this as, just silly superstition, but she stopped whistling out of respect when she realized how genuinely worried it made her elderly host. Number 2, touching someone's head is a serious violation. In Chinese culture, touching another person's head, especially a child's head, is considered deeply inappropriate and can cause genuine distress to both the person being touched and their family members. The head is viewed as the most sacred and spiritual part of the body in Chinese philosophy. Touching someone's head without permission is seen as violating their personal spiritual space and can be interpreted as dominance, disrespect, or even aggression. This taboo is particularly strong regarding children, where head touching by strangers can cause parents to become protective and angry. The gesture that many Westerners consider affectionate or playful is seen as invasive and inappropriate in Chinese culture. A kindergarten teacher from Australia working in Guangzhou had to completely retrain her natural instincts to pat children's heads as encouragement or comfort. Chinese parents complained to the school administration when she touched their children's heads, interpreting her well-meaning gestures as cultural insensitivity and inappropriate boundary crossing. Number 1. The ultimate taboo, refusing the host's third invitation to eat more. Here's the most shocking social rule that can destroy relationships and mark you as culturally ignorant. In Chinese hospitality culture, you must refuse food offers twice and only accept on the third invitation. But refusing that third offer is the ultimate insult. This complex dance of politeness follows ancient Chinese principles of modesty and persistence. Guests must show humility by initially declining, while hosts must demonstrate genuine generosity by insisting multiple times. The third offer represents the host's sincere desire to care for you, and refusing it suggests you reject their friendship and hospitality entirely. The cultural logic is profound. Accepting immediately appears greedy, but never accepting appears to reject the host's heart. The third invitation is the moment of genuine connection where social barriers break down and real relationship begins. Foreign visitors who don't understand this ritual often either appear gluttonous by accepting too quickly, or deeply offensive by consistently refusing food throughout the meal. A diplomatic dinner in Beijing nearly caused an international incident when a visiting dignitary kept politely declining food offers, not realizing that his cultural politeness was being interpreted as rejection of Chinese friendship and hospitality. His Chinese host felt personally insulted and questioned whether he truly wanted positive relations between their countries. The situation was only resolved when cultural advisors explained the misunderstanding and arranged for the dignitary to follow proper Chinese etiquette protocols at subsequent meals. What an incredible journey through the hidden depths of Chinese culture. These 15 taboos reveal something truly beautiful about Chinese society. It's a civilization built on thousands of years of wisdom about respect, harmony, and the delicate art of human relationships. Understanding these customs isn't about memorizing complicated rules. It's about recognizing that every gesture, every interaction, carries deep meaning in a culture that values thoughtfulness and mutual respect above individual convenience. When you honor these traditions, Chinese people don't just see you as a polite tourist, they welcome you into a cultural conversation that has been ongoing for millennia. The beauty of exploring China lies in these moments of cultural discovery. Every taboo we've discussed today represents an opportunity to connect more deeply with Chinese philosophy, to understand how ancient wisdom shapes modern behavior, and to experience the incredible warmth of Chinese hospitality when it's properly received and reciprocated. Remember, cultural sensitivity in China isn't about walking on eggshells, it's about showing genuine respect for one of humanity's oldest continuous civilizations. It's about recognizing that behind every strange custom lies profound thinking about how people can live together harmoniously. If this video opened your eyes to the fascinating complexity of Chinese culture, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone planning to visit or do business in China. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insider cultural guides that will make you a more thoughtful and effective global citizen. What surprised you most about Chinese taboos? Have you experienced any of these customs during your travels or business dealings? Share your stories in the comments below. I love learning about your cultural adventures and close calls. Thanks for watching, and remember, the world becomes a richer, more connected place when we take time to understand the wisdom embedded in each other's traditions. See you in the next video, and may your travels be filled with meaningful cultural connections.